recognize Mayor George Flax and Alderman Michael Mayfield and Alderman Alex Monsieur. The Kuhn Hospital has served the Vicksburg and Warren County area for over 100 years. Some of you here may have been born in this hospital or know someone that was born in this hospital. The Kuhn Hospital has had a very, very long history. In the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 states there is an appointed time for everything and a time for every affair under heaven. The Kuhn Hospital has served us well during its appointed time, and today the city of Vicksburg will begin the demolition of the hospital, which will officially end this era and start a new season of opportunity for this property. With that, I would like to ask Michael Mayfield. He has a few words to say.
Thank you, brother. I'm not going to throw these at you, big. These two bricks here are going to go to Mayor Flags and Alderman Monsieur. I was going to get them engraved yesterday, but I think somebody misled me into thinking that they had already been done. So these would have you guys' name on it, rest assured. First, allow me to say good morning to all of you again. It's truly a blessing to be here on today. Today is a bittersweet day for me, for I can remember so many great things about this hospital. One of the things that stand out is in 1988, when my dad, along with so many other good people in this community, were struggling and fighting and doing everything they could do to keep this facility open. And I remember Ms. Ford being at that meeting, and they were there trying to fight a system that did not understand what charity hospitals meant. So often there were people that didn't have the wherewithal, didn't have the means to go anywhere but the charity hospital. So they had an uphill battle. They fought hard, and they did everything that they could do, but they still closed this facility. And yesterday I was talking with my mother, who is 89 years old, and she really gave me a history lesson on the Kuhn Memorial Hospital. And she told me, she said, most of my children, who was 13, was born in this hospital. And she also told me that I was supposed to have been the last one. And she actually had 5 after me. And so I started teasing her. I said, Mama, you don't mean I gave you that much hell. She said, well, we're not going to discuss that today. But there are so many good memories about this hospital. I've had family members that worked here, friends, neighbors that worked here over the years. I've had family members that passed, family members that were born in this hospital. But Mayor Flax, when he first came on the board of mayor and alderman, I had become distraught because from 1995, which 24 years ago, we have been trying to, if you couldn't save it, then we didn't want it to become a blight to this community. And that's what it did over the years. It became a blight in this community. And my dad never understood why he fought so hard to keep it open, and I was fighting so hard to take it down. And he just never seemed to have understood that. But today, there are so many sweet memories as you relate to the Kuhn Memorial Hospital. And when you look at what it meant to this community in that day, okay, it was a hospital where you could walk. You could walk to it. And I lived right at the foothills of Rose Temple. And we would walk to this hospital, and that's a pretty good distance from here. But so many people didn't have vehicles, so they would walk here if they were well enough. And it served you, it didn't turn you away, okay? And I have a witness sitting right there, Ms. Ford. She was a nurse here for many years. And they didn't turn you away. things are different now. So we're blessed and we're honored that we're at this point. Mayor Flaggs told me I got pretty upset when he first came to the city because, again, I saw no action. And I knew we had to do something because of what this facility was actually doing to this community. And he said, man, just calm down. Just calm down. We're going to take it down. Calm down. So I did. I calmed down over time. And we also decided that we were going to do everything that we could do to make this ground something that the community would be proud of, okay? Meaning that we're not going to take this hospital to the ground and walk off. We are looking at several different things that we can do to make this a part of the community as far as housing and so on. And I have a young man, Mr. Galloway, sitting in front of me here. He promised me that he'll never leave me alone until we get it done. So I told him the other day, I said, well, you better work fast because I'm on my way home. So, Mr. Galloway, we're going to do everything we can. You got 2 years, 4 months, and so a few days, and then I'm gone. Okay? So we're going to work hard to do what we can. But Mayor Flaggs and Alderman Mansour, thank you all for not giving up. The fact that you all had a great relationship with the state and other people that I didn't have that relationship with, you all didn't give up. And I appreciate the fact that you were steadfast in what you were doing. But to all of you that are here, some of you are old enough to know what this was about. Some of you will understand what today is about. There's been a lot of things happen here. There's one thing in particular that was very tragic. And we have to live past that and do something that's going to foster the community. That's what it's all about. And I'm looking forward to that. So, again, thank you all for your due diligence. Thank you for your patience, because it's taken a lot of patience to get to this point. And we, when I say we, I'm talking about Mayor George Flaggs, Alderman Alex Mansour, and myself. We are not going to walk off, okay? When this is gone, we have great plans, and, you know, as Hannibal used to say, I love it when a plan comes together. Well, that's what we plan to do. We plan to do something that is good for all of us, and then we can leave happy. So thank you for this opportunity, Mayor. I didn't want to speak, but he told me I had to, so, you know, when Mayor had to do something, we won't leave you alone. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for this opportunity to have a few words. God bless you.
Good morning. Good morning. It's ironic that I stand here today. 32 years ago, I announced my candidacy for the House of Representatives at the request of Ms. Eva Ford and members of the community to go to Jackson to save the charity hospital, not only in Vicksburg, but in Meridian and in Laurel, Mississippi. But I'm reminded of the words, and I paraphrase, of Charles Dickens. He said, "It is the worst of time, but it is the best of time. It is a season of hope, and it's a season of despair." Today, I refuse to believe that this is not a day or a season of hope. I believe that this is a new beginning. I believe that all the faults and all the wars that have been fought about this should rest today. You see, we stand on about 12 acres when this project is completed. And this 12 acres will not only serve as a, and I really believe that it's going to serve as the beginning of not only hope, but the best that Vicksburg can be. You see, I envision that if you can build a $22 million sports complex 13 synthetic fields that you've never seen before in the South Ward, then you ought to be able to do just the same in the North Ward. You see, we have one Vicksburg, not two Vicksburg. This is not the tale of two cities. This is one city. So I stand here today to witness the demolition of a facility. And yes, it was put there to serve indigent patients. The ironic thing is that I tried to tell the legislature when they voted, we only lost by one vote, that this day will come, because it is the Mississippi legislature and the state of Mississippi in the term that I serve that ought to be here today apologizing for what this has become. There were 3 hospitals. Medicaid was $28 million the day this hospital was closed. It's well over $1 billion now. And we don't serve no more people then than we served then. This hospital was created, and that's what we have to understand. Michael talk about walking. When this hospital was built, and when those persons that was born and those that live in Vicksburg, you had no other choice but to walk. They didn't have cars. This was their only means to access to affordable health care. And besides this was the first educational institution for health care people. If you wanted a nurse degree, you didn't go to Hines. You didn't go to Jackson State. You didn't go to Alcorn. You didn't go to Mississippi State or USM. You went here. The people that didn't have an opportunity to go to those schools to get nursing degrees because they wanted the care came out of here. This was a teaching institution. And when you tear down education, you tear down your future. And I tried to tell them that. But beyond that, I commit to this city. If God is my witness, and I know He is, that we're going to make this every bit of a new beginning, a new hope, a new befitting place in Vicksburg, Mississippi, so that we all can honor the tradition and the meaning of what Dr. Martin Luther King said many times. It is outrageous. It is embarrassing almost that we stand here on Martin Luther King Drive and have the biggest blight of our community while we celebrate his birthday, his 90th birthday. But I commit to you with every fiber of my body that if I'm the mayor of this city, we're going to make this a residential, retail, and recreation development. And if you don't know what that means, it simply means that we're going to have walking trails like we got in the South Ward. We're going to have tennis courts like we got in the South Ward. We're going to have basketball courts like we got in the South Ward. And we're going to have residents, new home, affordable living home like we got in the South Ward. And we're going to have retail like we got in the South Ward. You see, I ran because of one Vicksburg, not two Vicksburg. So I stand here today reaffirming my commitment to everybody. Is that when the first brick comes down, look at it as a brick of hope that comes down. Because I'm telling you, we're going to rebuild. We're going to rebuild. We're going to rebuild right on this site. And then we're going to declare urban renewal. And I intend to go to Washington, Jackson, and everywhere to get the dollars. And if we can't get them, we're going to get them like we got them for the sports complex. I don't want you to look at that sports complex when you see it and see that it can happen right here in Vicksburg. It can, on this side in the North Ward. Today, my friends, is a new beginning. And it's a great beginning. And I refuse to believe that this is a season of despair.
My name is Trey Hess. I'm with PPM Consultants, and we're blessed and fortunate to have the city and the mayor and the alderman put this project in our hands to try to find a way to start this new beginning. And I think this is a story of commitment on the part of the city, on the leadership, commitment on the part of the city's staff as well, And so I wanted to at least first, before we provide the presentation of some bricks to the leadership, but also to any individuals that may want to have something to remember the glory days of what Kuhn Hospital was, because I think it's important that a brick symbolizes the building of a new temple, so to speak. So just to kind of give you a little bit of history about how we got to this point to be able to celebrate this day. You know, this is the Catalyst Brownfield project for the city of Vicksburg. The two buildings, tearing down the two buildings and removing some of the environmental issues. It had been sold 6 times for taxes. City officials had been trying to work with the property owners and others for at least 10 years to get it cleaned up and either renovated or demolished. Well, in 2016, the city received this first EPA Brownfield grant, which allowed them to go and assess the conditions of the site, identify the health and safety concerns, and come up with a strategy for cleanup. From that, the city went back to the EPA, and EPA felt that this was a good project, a good commitment by the city, and provided them $400,000 in a cleanup grant. And that cleanup grant's been used, as well as a further commitment by the city for the demolition of this, some funding to do so. And so in 2018, the city received bids and has committed the additional money for the cleanup and removal and demolition of the buildings. So today we celebrate the hard work and dedication of those who have been a part of this great history of Kuhn Memorial Hospital. So with that, I will say this: I've got little cards that sort of give you a snapshot of how we got here on some of these. At this point, Vic, if we could present to the mayor and the aldermen these bricks as a memento, and from there we plan to take this event over here to watch again the ceremonial demolition of the building. This is the start of something good for the city. Yes, special speakers. Again, I have a number of cards if you would like to get a copy of this. And so at this time, if we could very orderly, because it's all about health and safety for me, okay? If we could orderly walk our way over here, and they're going to, M&M is going to do do a little bit of demolition ceremony for this. Thank you.
If you can take these with you here, you take them on out there. Just take these two.